Back on the road this week, big conference game, going to Liberty, really good team that will play in Liberty. Going to bounce back from last week, and this time of year you want to be in the hunt, and we're in the hunt, and so we don't have time to think in the past. We got to be getting ready for the future. Our guys got a good look in their eye, had a chance to meet with them, ready to get back to work and try to get back in that win column. With that said, questions?
Yeah, as you said, you guys have had to bounce back a couple times this year and have done pretty well with that. 3 wins in a row after Alabama, 4 in a row after Boston College. Kind of walk me through how that's been a part of your team this year to shake off.
Well, I think our team gets the big picture. I think they have a pro mentality about them. They like to work. They don't get down and they don't think in the past, and so we'll have our hands full with Liberty. They're a good football team, but this time of year, it's anybody's game. You look across the conference all last week, and there were upsets, and there was some games that went right down to the wire, and I expect this to be a 4-quarter game, and I expect it to be a great game, and hopefully we can come out on the winning side of it.
Obviously coming off a couple of days after the loss now, what kind of some of your reflections or takeaways that you have from that game after that?
Probably the biggest thing was, they controlled the clock for 40 minutes. They had it for 40 minutes, and we had it for 20. And, our time of possession was 8 possessions. I thought we did a really good job. Obviously, defensively, you hold somebody to 12 points, you expect to win the game, and you expect to score a lot more than what we scored. But, we had a roughing the punter call, which gave them a possession back. We had a muff punt. They gave them a possession back. They were able to hold on to the football, and then when we had it offensively, we didn't do much with it. And got down there on a 4th and 1 call, and felt like we needed points to win, and we got stopped. And so, you add all those things up, and that's the result that you get. But again, our team understands the big picture of things, and ready to move on and ready to go get a big win at Liberty.
Looking at Liberty, they've been in a tough battles this season, especially even this past week in there going to overtime. It's kind of what you've seen from them this year that's kind of different from the Liberty team that you saw last year.
Well, like anybody, they're dealing with some injuries. They got some marquee players that have gotten hurt for them. And even with the injuries, they're a very good football team. And it starts with their quarterback. He's a very talented player, and he's a guy that can create and run around. He throws the ball extremely well. They're a good, solid defensive football team, and they got good runners at running back, and so they are a talented football team. But like everybody, this time of year, everybody's banged up. Everybody has injuries, and so they've been dealing with some of that. And so at the end of the day, no matter how good, how bad you play, all the thing that matters is winning, right? And you just want to be in that win column. And so that's the biggest thing for everybody. It's just you got to find a way to win this time of year.
Right, these are some of the same skilled guys that put together that great season for them last year. Starting with Quentin Cooley, running back. I thought you guys did a pretty decent job against him last year. Salter, the quarterback, was the guy that really hurt you. How do you kind of slow him down and contain him a little bit better?
Well, that's probably I'm going to refer to Coach Summers on that one, because Salter's hard to deal with, and we'll have a plan in place for sure, and you always have to have a guy accountable for him. But he is very talented, and even the guy you have accountable for him sometimes doesn't make the play, and we got to be able to run and tackle, get them down, and can't give them a bunch of yards after contact. Look back to last year, both the running back, both Salter and the receivers, they got a lot of yards after contact last year, and so we got to run and tackle, and when they do make plays, we got to get them down. We've been good defensively, keeping people from scoring touchdowns. We may give up a lot of yards, but we've kept them out of the end zone. That'll be big this week as well, for sure.
Obviously, lots, take away from Saturday, especially on the offense, things you could, improve on going into next week. But a good sign was the defense, allowing no touchdowns. What are some things on that side that you want to build off of even more for next week?
Yeah, offensively, I think the biggest thing for us is really staying in front of the chains. You know, we had some holding calls that made it, brings the ball back. It's 1st and 20. That's tough sledding, and we weren't efficient on first down a lot of times and had a couple 3-and-outs. And I went back and looked at it. If you go and make the first 3rd down each time, we finished. We finished the drive. And so obviously that 3rd and 5 is going to come up, or 3rd and 6. You gotta move the chains then and get momentum back in your favor. Last week we had a lot of 3rd and longs, a lot of 3rd and longs. So really offensively it's being efficient and keep the chains moving. Felt like, the explosive plays, we didn't make as many explosive plays as we needed to. Defensively, I'll take 12 points every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I mean, if you hold somebody to 12, you think, hey, you're going to win, right? But if you're going to nitpick and say, what can we do better? I think, we've given up a lot of yards in the rushing game. A lot of that has to do with the style of defense we play. Coach Summers does a great job of picking his spots and getting into some scenarios where he can dictate to them. And so even though the ball moved last week, we kept them out of the end zone. What we didn't get was the turnover piece. We've been getting turnovers, and I think that helped with them holding that ball for as long as they did. But there's hidden things in there, again, like roughing the punter gave them the ball back, so it takes a series away from the offense. Muff the punt, gives them the ball back, takes a series away from the offense. That was 6 points, and when you have 4 field goals in a game and, we could have taken away 2 of those opportunities, it would have been good. But, I think, everybody knows what the problems were, what needs to be fixed, what we need to do better. Now we got to go do it. Talking about it's one thing, doing it's another. So we got to go do it now.
Coach, I felt like maybe with New Mexico State and this past Saturday against Louisiana Tech, there were some mistakes that were being made that weren't being made early in the year, and just sort of some messy football. Do you think part of it could be just the pressure of this month to get your guys, and if so, how do you counteract that?
No, I just think, sometimes you get into games where things happen. You never know when a holding call is going to happen, or, do we wish we would have muffed the punt? No, we're pretty good about securing the ball. But how do you respond? And we just weren't able to respond correctly. The want to was there, the effort was there, the scheme is there. And hats off to Louisiana Tech. They're a very good defense, very, very good defense. They lose to Sam Houston earlier in the year 9-3, or FIU was 14-10 or 17-10 or something. So they've been in a lot of those low-scoring games. We just needed to find that. We had an opportunity at the end of the game. We blocked the field goal. Minute 55 left. We had an opportunity to go get it done offensively. At the end of the day, good, bad, ugly, whatever it might be, we had that opportunity. We didn't make it happen. You go make it happen, you win, it's a different story, right? So we got to turn the page now. The game's over, and we got to correct what we did wrong last week. The biggest thing, though, is the mental mindset that says we get to control our destiny, and not a lot of people are in this position this time of year. And so we don't have time to be thinking about the past and the what-ifs and all those things. We got to be thinking about this opponent and how we're going to win this football game.
Right, this loss kind of removed a little bit of safety net as far as the opportunity to get to that game, but, the path is still very clear to actually win the championship in the next 2 games.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be in. You want to continue to control your destiny, right? And you don't want to leave it in somebody else's hands, hoping that, hey, if somebody loses and we might, this and that. But we'll just take it one game at a time. I'm not into the looking past anything other than liberty and trying to get that win. And our guys will be excited to go up there and play. It should be a good game.
Liberty came here last year, and that was a big time game. They pulled out the win. What were some things that you saw in that game last year that you're hoping to correct this time?
Well, I think one, they moved the ball offensively pretty well. The first half last year, we did pretty good defensively. Limited them to some, a lot fewer yards than they were used to. Second half, well, that was not the case. You know, whatever it was, adjustments they made or whatever, you know, they started scoring. And, I think they were 40-plus in that game, you know. And so we weren't able to sustain offensively to match that. So that's the first thing. I always say our defense leads the way. If you want to make a championship run, it's through the defense, and our defense leads the way. So, and they have been leading the way. And so we need our defense to really step up again this week. And then offensively, we got to be efficient. We got to score when the opportunity's there. You know, they are a football team. Liberty is that defensively. They may give you some yards, they may give you some plays, but they're going to hunker down and try to keep you out of the end zone in crunch time, and we got to put the ball in the end zone.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.